Good evening. Welcome to the council meeting, and if you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First, call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Here.
Smith?
Here.
Asbury?
Here.
Saunders?
Here.
Cochi?
Here.
Spinks?
Here.
Janutus?
Here. Council, you have the minutes of the regular meeting of May 16th, 2022. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Smith, second by Asbury? Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes. And you have the minutes of the work session of June 6, 2022. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Spinks, second by Fluharty? Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Abstain. And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of June 6, 2022. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, motion for acceptance by Asbury, second by Smith. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Abstain. We have a couple presentations tonight. One of them we were going to do a little special thank you for Frank Ambozzi on his last official meeting with the city of Bedford, pending his retirement coming up. But unfortunately, he's under the weather, and when he called me up, he said, I can't make it. You know, I felt like putting my mask on and just answer the phone. It sounded so bad. So I said, no, stay away. And you know, we'll bring him in at another time to give him our public thanks for all his years and years and years of work for the city, and just a tremendous job that he did. But we'll save all that for the later on. And we have another presentation, only this time I'm not doing the presenting, I'm doing the accepting. Call Ms. Jean Safer forward. So they can pick it up on the camera.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'm here on behalf of the Bedford Garden Club, and I am presenting to you and to the city a couple of checks, two checks that should help with the costs of the flowers on the Union Street Bridge, which are beautiful, by the way. Oh my gosh. And for the Arbor Day tree that was planted. So this is something that we enjoy doing, and it fits in with Garden Club's original mission of helping and keeping Bedford be beautiful. And along those lines, if I could, we have our annual Bedford Beauties coming up in a couple of weeks. And this is a program we started a few years ago, and it apparently has gotten very popular. Last year, we ran out of signs. Yard signs. So what we'll be doing is there'll be teams from the Bedford Garden Club going around in each ward and looking for homes, businesses that have really, terrific curb appeal, and the ones that are chosen will get a sign, a yard sign. They have in their yard for about a month and all the bragging rights they want. The places will be judged on beauty, creativity, design, and effort, and we enjoy it, and it's fun to see all the places that are
That's a
coming up.
great thing, and just see all the houses that are,
Yeah.
get spruced up
Yeah.
because of it.
Well, we were doing it in July now, because when we did it earlier in the year, in the summer, it was, we had, gardens needed time to get really established and blooming and stuff. So that's what we did.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
And I will turn this
Pleasure.
over to our finance director here, acting finance director, whatever the term is, but thank you so much.
Oh, you're
And
very
the
welcome.
flowers, like you said, are just amazing.
Oh, and everything's, on the square, Broadway, it's just beautiful.
It just makes the city.
It does.
It does.
really
We want to
does.
thank you guys so much for
Oh,
doing all that.
our pleasure.
Thank you. We'll get down to some old business. Ordinance number 9964-22.
An ordinance equalizing the wards in the city of Bedford and declaring an emergency.
First, we need to remove it from the table. Can I have a motion for such by Janutus, second by Fluharty? Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Can I have a motion for suspension by Saunders, second by Asbury? Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
And motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Mike, you want to do this? Or do we need to?
No, I don't know if you guys were gonna go with the, I didn't know you were passing it tonight, but okay.
We are.
Okay. Basically, our charter requires us to take a look at the voter strength in each ward to make sure that's, equal, sort of similar to what the state's doing with the, with trying to figure out a congressional wards and, those sort of things. But, so our charter required us to look at it, and we hired a company to do it, and they made recommendations, and I guess we're gonna follow those recommendations. Good.
Yeah, they weren't 100% to our liking, but just to change a few things around was just a monumental task, and it wasn't worth the effort, we felt, to do that. It didn't change a whole lot in the picture. And that's again why we had a company outside did. Unlike the state, we weren't worried about gerrymandering and seeing who's, maybe I could get a piece forward over here and there, so we didn't do any of that, and we will go with their recommendation. Clerk, call the roll.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9978-22.
An ordinance to levy assessments for the expense of garbage and refuse collection, recycling, and disposal within the city of Bedford during the years 2022, 2023, and 2024, which will be collected in 2023, 2024, and 2025 respectively, and declaring an emergency.
And, motion for suspension by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Asbury, second by Smith. Mike? Who wants that? You? Just refuge.
This is for the assessments for the trash collection. We went out to bid. We're part of a consortium that we do I believe it's every 5 years. The last contract, we had, the city had two-year options, and we took advantage of those options, knowing to extend the agreement, knowing that the prices were very favorable at the time. So The final year ran out. We went out to bid with our consortium. We worked with a number of other communities, Walton Hills, Orange, Bedford Heights, and we advertised for those, if you recall. And we had a bid opening earlier this year, and we received bids from Rumpke, Waste Management, Kimball, Republic. I think there might have been one more. Ultimately, it was decided that the best service was to remain with Kimball. Now, obviously, those costs have gone up, and those, based on the assessments, that will be reflected in that, as they will move to, I believe it was $18, correct, Jennifer?
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
yes,
Janutus?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9983-22.
Which is an ordinance declaring improvements to certain real property within the city of Bedford to be a public purpose, declaring such property to be exempt from real property taxation, requiring annual statutory service payments in lieu of taxes, creating an urban redevelopment tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of such, for said service payments, authorizing the execution of a service agreement and a cooperative agreement, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, can I have a motion for second reading by Saunders, second by Asbury? Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
yes,
Janutus?
Yes.
Resolution number 2586-22.
A resolution declaring the necessity of assessing the expense of garbage, refuse collection, recycling, and disposal within the city of Bedford, and certifying to the county auditor the cost due the city of Bedford for the garbage and rubbish collections, and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Asbury, second by Smith. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
yes,
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Mike, or Jen, you want to do this?
So in this ordinance, we're declaring the necessity to collect the assessments to pay towards the cost of recycling, refuse, etc. For a single-family residential unit, it would be $18 per month. For a two-dwelling residential unit, it would be $36 per month. And for a three-family residential unit, it would be $54 a month. The old cost was $14 per month per unit, and it's just going up $4 per month. But this is to go back in line with the costs associated to this.
Thank you. Question? Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
yes,
Janutus?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9985-22.
Which is an ordinance amending our codified ordinances, section 915.02, entitled Garbage and Refuse, and declaring an emergency to allow us to, establish the rates that we just talked about and codify them.
I have a motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
yes,
Janutus?
Yes.
A motion for third and final by Smith, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
yes,
Janutus?
Yes.
These next several ordinances all have to do with the items that the Charter Review Commission came up with that the Charter Review Commission came up with that they proposed as changes to our charter. They did a good job. Again, I want to thank and congratulate all the people for the hard work they put into it. It was, spent hours and days and weeks on it and really went through the charter. So these next ones that we okay will be forwarded to the Board of Elections and put on the ballot for the November election. Then the public gets to do the final judgment on whether they're for or against what the Charter Commission came up with. So first one we'll go through, if you want, 9986-22.
An ordinance requiring the clerk of council to deliver to the Board of Elections proposed amendment to Article 2, Section 1C of the Charter of the City of Bedford regarding equalization of wards to be submitted to the electors at the November 8th, 2022 municipal election and declaring an emergency.
I have a motion for suspension by Spink, second by Janutus. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
A motion for third and final. Saunders, second by Asbury. Let me just read what it's going to say on the ballot so you understand. It says, shall Article 2, Section 1C of the Charter of the City of Bedford regarding equalization of wards be amended to using the federal census figure every 10 years using population to equalize voter strength in each ward. The old version said voter strength, the new one says population. That's in keeping with state requirements. And again, they'll be on the ballot, so all of you can voice your opinion. And we have to pass these or not pass them to forward them, to put on the ballot. So call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9987-22.
Requiring the clerk to deliver to the Board of Elections a proposed amendment to Article 2, Section 2 of the Charter regarding the qualifications of council members to be submitted to the electors at the November 8th, 2022 municipal election and declaring an emergency.
And we need to amend one word in here where it said 1 year prior to appointment. We want to amend that to read 1 year prior to the election or appointment, so it covers both situations. I have a motion to do such. Asbury, second by Saunders. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spink, second by Fluharty. Again, let me read what it says. Shall Article 2, Section 2 of the Charter of the City of Bedford regarding qualifications of council members be amended to extend the 6 months residency required to 2 years, with 1 year of those 2 in the ward, and 1 in the ward for which the candidate is seeking election. So what it is, right now it's 6 months. Changing it to 2 years in the city, and the year you get elected or appointed, you have to be in the ward, which I think is a good idea. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9988-22.
Inserting a proposed amendment to Article 2, Section 4 of the Charter regarding council vacancies to be submitted to the electors at the November election and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Saunders, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Again, let me read this one. Shall Article 2, Section 4 of the Charter of the City of Bedford regarding council vacancies be amended to require that a council seat vacancy be announced in 10 days, that the occupancy be filled within 60 days, and that the election be held at the next regular or general election to be held 90 days after the determination of the vacancy, to allow candidates adequate time to circulate petitions. That will order of orders. Call the roll.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9989-22.
Authorizing the clerk to submit a proposed amendment to Article 5, Section 2 and Section 3 of the Charter regarding ballots and petitions for places on ballot to be submitted to the electors at the November 8th municipal election and declaring an emergency.
I have a motion for suspension by Smith, second by Saunders. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Again, let me read what this says. Shall Article 5, Section 2 and Section 3 of the Charter of the City of Bedford regarding ballots and petitions for places on ballot be amended to conform with current law and the format approved by the state of Ohio? Actually, I personally want to vote no on this one because by state law, we have to do that anyhow. So even if it got turned down by the voters, we would still have to do it. So it really doesn't need to be voted on by the public because we're overridden, but the state overrides what our laws say. And
You don't want to confuse everybody with
yeah,
things on the ballot.
because even if it gets shot down, say, we don't want it that way, we still have to do it that way, so, and that's my opinion, I will vote no on that one. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
No.
Smith?
No.
Asbury?
No.
Saunders?
No.
Cochee?
No.
Spinks?
No.
Janutus?
No.
Ordinance number 9990-22.
Requiring the clerk to submit an amendment to Article 11, Section 1 and Section 3 of the Charter regarding appropriation of property to be submitted to the electors at the November 8th election and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Saunders, second by Asbury. Again, this is, we'll read, shall Article 11, Section 1 and Section 3 of the Charter of the City of Bedford regarding notice of appropriation of property be amended to change the number of readings to 3 before council authorizes the appropriation and to include electronic forms of notice to the owner permitted by law. Currently, it is, we only need 1 reading. This will change it to 3 readings. And they added the electronic forms, help bring us into the 21st century, so you can do it online. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9991-22.
Authorizing the clerk to submit a proposed amendment to Article 6, Section 1, Section 2, and Section 4 of the Charter regarding initiative, referendum, and recall to be submitted at the November election and declaring an emergency. Yeah.
Motion for suspension by Saunders, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Again, this will read, shall Article 6, Section 1, Section 2, and Section 4 of the Charter of the City of Bedford regarding initiative, referendum, and recall be amended to comply with the current law in the format approved by the state of Ohio. Actually, this one will probably be another one I vote no, because again, we have to comply with the laws of the state. So no matter how you vote, we gotta go by the state laws. So no sense putting out more on the ballot, because I think more stuff gets on the ballot, people then get confused. If people get confused, then they just tend to vote no on everything. So let's help cut it down a little bit. We're pretty much in agreement with all these other things, but,
I think the next one you were going to do the same.
and we're gonna do the same on the next one. Just because it's state law, we can't change it anyway, so. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
No.
Asbury?
No.
Saunders?
No.
Cochi?
No.
Spinks?
No.
Janutus?
No.
Ordinance number 9992-22.
Concerning a proposed amendment to Article 8, Section 4 of the Charter regarding amendment to be submitted to the electors at the November 8th municipal election, and declaring an emergency.
A motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Saunders, second by Asbury. This one will read, shall Article 8, or 13, excuse me, Article 13, Section 4 of the Charter of the City of Bedford regarding amendmenting, that's a tough word, amendmenting, state that petitions must be signed by 10% of the votes cast in the last governor's race to comply with state law. Again, this is another one, it already has to comply with state law, so I would vote no against it. Again, just in the sense of not adding to the confusion of all the amendments. And we have to do that anyhow, even if it got voted down, so call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
No.
Smith?
No.
Asbury?
No.
Saunders?
No.
Cochi?
No.
Spinks?
No.
Janutus?
No.
Thank you. Before we get into reports, I think probably, I know I got it at home, the Board of Elections sent out where your polling places are. And there are some changes this year. I just want to touch on, hopefully everybody got it in the mail, but this year, Ward 1 will be voting at Bedford High School, along with Ward 2. Now you vote on that, you go in on the Berwyn side of the high school, to the auxiliary gym. So those two wards will be there. And, oh, and Ward 3.
They're there now too.
Is at Bedford High School.
Yep. That one was close to you.
And Ward 6.
My ward's been there.
1, 2, 3, and 6 are all at Bedford High School. And wards 4 and 5 will go to Glendale Primary.
Jeez.
So hopefully you got in the mail your voting card so you know where to go. Just wanted to bring that up before we get into stuff here. I think it's just temporary change, isn't it?
Yeah, and just,
For August.
just to follow up to what the mayor indicated, this is, and what we had completed, or what we anticipate to be temporary. A lot of this has to do with this election taking place in August. The Board of Elections reached out to us to look at our schedule of what we have going on at the Ellenwood Community Center. So given the amount of programs that are scheduled, and most importantly, there's a children's camp that's taking place there. Given all of that activity, and when you have a camp there with a lot of youth, the safest, and it was definitely our recommendation, would be to have it temporarily transfer this to another site for this election, just given the amount of traffic that would be in and out of that building with all the children and with other programming. It's better to just err on the side of caution, just so there's, nothing would happen. So they agreed, and again, we anticipate this to be temporary.
But while you have the mic, city manager's report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. A few items. First, I just want to thank everybody that participated in the parade yesterday. It was really fantastic to kind of get back to how it used to be a few years ago. We had a lot of participants, a lot of spectators, and it really went off, without a hitch. Some minor glitches, but I have to give credit to, well, one, I want to thank all the communities, obviously Bedford Heights, Walton Hills, Oakwood, the schools, and again, everyone else that participated. Most importantly, I just want to commend Renee Cole from Bedford Heights and Ani Zagrevic from Bedford here are the main coordinators of that event. And it doesn't seem like much, but when you're dealing with a parade that size, that amount of participants, safety, all of those things that come into it, they start this planning months ago. And they did a tremendous job. So I just wanted to acknowledge them, and obviously look forward to next year. So thank you for everyone that participated. Just a quick update regarding some projects. Broadway Avenue, the contractor for Breezy is completed with the evening work. They're now focusing on the electrical upgrades, some minor sewer repairs, and then hopefully in the coming weeks we'll start on the curb replacements. Our staff were out last week with the contractor marking those curbs, so that will be taking place very, very soon, and we'll be buttoning up that project. We did have a bid opening for a portion of our road program last week that included a couple of streets, some crack sealing, and some other infrastructure repairs. The bid that was the lowest was significantly higher than we had anticipated. And that's for a number of reasons. One, contractors not being able to meet our timeline. Some had asked for that timeline to be extended into next year. There were a number of things that went into that. In looking at the number, we actually had recommended obviously denying that and kind of going back to the drawing board. So we are going to be looking at our projects, looking on what we can maybe tweak or adjust and possibly rebid later this month for a bid or for an award in August, at the August 1st meeting. So that's what we're hopeful for, but like anything else, costs are going up, and before we just jump to the lowest bid, we really want to take a step back and analyze and see if we could do better, which we're hopeful we will. Staying on Broadway, or going back to Broadway, those businesses, residents, any stakeholders along the entire roadway from Corp Limit to Corp Limit should be receiving a letter from us that went out. And it's basically in regards to the complete resurfacing project next year. The letter basically says if you have questions or comments, you can email myself, you can call us, and we have to log those those, and we will provide that information, any comments. We share that with NOACA and with ODOT, and it's a requirement of the project. So those went out. If you're getting that, it also includes, along with that letter, it includes a map of the project. So look out for those. If you have questions or comments, feel free to reach out to myself. The press release is also on our website for anyone that wishes to see what that letter states. We did include a press release on the website regarding this as well. And as you know, that resurfacing project will start in the spring of 2023, and it'll be north of $2.5 million. And the city did negotiate a lower percentage. Normally, municipalities are required to cover 20%, and we negotiated that number down to 15%. So it will have a significant cost to Bedford, but the entire roadway, ADA ramps, all of that, some curb repair, all of that will take place next year. While we're on infrastructure, we did receive notice, and I had indicated to council earlier tonight, today, that we were awarded another significant grant through Cuyahoga County up to $250,000, and that's going to cover the resurfacing, a portion of the resurfacing of Turney Road from, I believe it's Lee, all the way to West Grace. What we did for that grant, and I know I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but knowing a lot of our funds are going to be focused on Broadway next year, we applied for these funds to be in the year 2023, 2024. So major roadway taking place next year. The following year, we'll tackle Turney as well as maybe some other small ones. But we did receive that grant award, and kudos to our staff who worked to apply for those funds. Definitely going to help cover those costs. We have a number of open positions that are on our website that we're looking to fill right now, primarily in our building department, full-time inspector. We're looking at a possible part-time inspector, so anyone interested, please visit our website. We also are going to be advertising some of those on social media, and we anticipate a couple of others opening up as well. We have a lot of moving parts, a lot of retirements that have taken place, so a lot of shifting, and they've created the open positions. So anyone interested, please visit our website. Lastly, I just want to mention we are already into July, but there's still a lot of events scheduled to take place later this summer. We have our summer concert series. We have a concert tomorrow night, every other Wednesday down in the Commons. We have a family movie night that's going to take place later in July that the Parks and Recreation Department are putting on. It's actually a Disney movie in Canto, with some other activities beforehand for the kids. There's Elmer Flick baseball days, which are going to be taking place. That includes movies. Friday night, there's actually going to be 2 showings, Sandlot for the children, as well as I believe it's Field of Dreams for the adults, and a lot of other great things going on. So not only is it City of Bedford, but it's a lot of our civic organizations. Go on our website, look for that calendar of events, and stop down and enjoy. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Law Director.
Thank you. I have no report. Just want to thank everybody for coming. Have a good summer.
And Finance.
I just wanted to announce on behalf of the Rotary, Bedford Rotary, that July 22nd, 23rd, and 24th is their annual rib burn-off. That's all I have.
That's short and sweet.
I like that.
We will start with Mr. Fluharty.
I like that. Frank's not here talking for 20 minutes. I would say that. Ain't bad enough, Frank. Again, the parade was excellent. It was good getting back to somewhat normalcy, if that's a word too. But it was good seeing people that I haven't seen in a while, and it's funny, I had people call my name out that I probably haven't seen in 40 years, and I had no clue who they were. But you just say, hey, how you doing? And you just keep going. But it's one of them days where everybody comes out and enjoys themselves. So it was a great time and good weather. And again, thanks to Ani and everybody that put the parade together. It was good. Mike, this guardrail update on Union Street, do you have anything on that?
I do have an update on that. Cuyahoga County actually obtained a quote from the contractor that did a lot of the work over there on Union. It came in at $29,000 and change to remove that small guardrail that is there and to install an additional one that is longer that'll cover that section that where there isn't one. I had inquired that county should cover those costs, being that it's a county road. County installed that initially, and obviously we're not in a position to incur an additional $30,000. They refused to pay for that, $30,000, and said if they want the guardrails to go in, it has to be 100% incurred by Bedford. I did follow up with them with another letter, in short, that was unacceptable. From my standpoint, as well as our police department, we believe that's a safety concern, and we did request Cuyahoga County to revisit that, based on, previous incident, as well as I did provide them information on the accidents that have been in that direct vicinity for the last 10 years. There have been a couple, so I have not received a response yet, but I sent that police reports, the photos, and a formal request that they revisit that decision not to do that. That went out, I believe it was last Wednesday, so when I get a response from them, I will let you know.
And last, somebody left Frank a bag here, says Mr. Frank, that's starting to freak me out. I don't know what's in there, but I hope we don't call the bomb squad or anything, but.
Some sort of glue.
End of report.
Mr. Smith.
I'd just like to say that I enjoyed the parade after being in the city for 24 years and actually being a participant. It was a nice experience. My wife, we really enjoyed that. I'd like to thank Mike for acquiring me a vehicle. Had to climb in and out of that thing. It's way up there, but yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks again, and I'd like to thank you also for showing or giving attention to that project on Cork Hill.
Yes.
Finally, that thing is going on, and seeing the things that have come out of that hole. I just don't know how long that sewer could have lasted that long. There's trees in there. I mean, big trees, telephone poles, just all kinds of stuff in that hole. So thanks again, and hopefully the calls will go down.
I did, just to follow up, I did try to get a timeline on that for you. I reached out to them earlier this morning to see if they have a completion, and they don't, given kind of what it's entailing. They weren't comfortable giving a completion date, but when I have that, I'll let you know, and I'll include it in council's memo.
Thank you. Mr. Asbury.
Thank you, Mayor. Just like everyone else said, the parade went off great yesterday. It was hot. A lot of people came out, kids, I'm sure they enjoyed themselves. My arm is sore from tossing candy because I'm not left-handed. My grandson had a great time, thanks to Liberty Ford for loaning me a big old lifted pickup truck that would haul all of us, so we had a good time. The only bad thing about being in the parade is you don't get to actually see the parade. Plain Dealer, Cleveland.com, they did a nice article and they showed a lot of pictures. There were some overhead shots from a drone taken by one of the, I can't think of his name offhand, but he had posted those on one of the Facebook pages. And supposedly, by the time the first cars pulled in to end the parade, the last cars hadn't even started yet. So, I mean, that's a massive undertaking, and thanks to everybody that put it together. Down to service who got all the barricades out and set up ahead of time, auxiliaries that worked the parade, blocked the streets off, our Grand Marshal, Uncle Sam, Sean Francis, everything went off without a hitch, and looking forward to doing it again next year. Mike already took a couple things. The band tomorrow night at the concert series is Risk Factor, and there's going to be a food truck also. Off the Griddle food truck will be there. That's from 7 to 9. The weather looks good. No rain tomorrow, at least not for now. I guess this is National Hot Dog Month. July is National Hot Dog Month. I think I heard that today, but anyway. We've got a new business opening up tomorrow in the old doghouse location. The Wild Dog is opening up. And according to her hours, it looks like it's Tuesday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if you're in the mood for a hot dog or something that she's got on the menu, get up there early because it seems like she closes at 3 p.m. What else? Mike mentioned the family night. Elmer Flick Days, just to elaborate a little bit, July 15th and 16th. The two movies will be going on Friday night. Sandlot Field of Dreams, there's also going to be a beer tent. There should be some, I believe, is there a food truck coming Friday? Okay. Maybe a food truck, maybe not. Saturday starts early in the morning, 10 o'clock. Ed Flash Ferentz will do his radio show from the square from 10 to 11 if anybody wants to come and join that. There's going to be a barbershop quartet walking around the square. There's going to be an old-time game at the Glens at 1 o'clock. These are two teams that play baseball old-time, no gloves, no equipment. It's going to be kind of cool to watch. I believe we do have a little, not a dunk tank, but a tank that dumps water. I will be volunteering, so come and get your tickets and try and dunk me. I bet you can't. Might volunteer, maybe Mayor, we'll see. Somebody will volunteer to get a little wet. That should be a fun event. We'll get plenty of donations. What else? I think I want to touch on this. These Orbeez guns that we've been hearing a lot about lately. We've had several reports, local kids firing these guns at people walking down the street or at cars or at, individuals that they shouldn't be shooting at. And I don't know exactly what they are, but it sounds like they're little water-filled pellets. And it sounds like people are freezing them and shooting them at random people. Parents, grandparents, guardians of kids, don't let your kids do this. They're going to run into the wrong person one day. There was an incident in Garfield Heights where a lady actually pulled her legally carried handgun on a group of individuals because they were shooting these pellets. Don't let them do it. I'm telling you, it's just not going to be a good thing for them. The best outcome from somebody shooting is they get a ticket or they the worst is we don't want to talk about it. So please, parents, guardians, grandparents, don't let your kids have these guns. If they do, keep them in the darn house, okay? Because it's just not a good thing. Mike, the only other thing I had that just popped in my head, tree at 66 Eldred, it's a huge tree. I don't know what type, but it dropped a couple big limbs, 66. And if there was a car parked on the street, it would have caused significant damage. I pulled it up and put it up on the tree lawn to get out of the way, but it's dropped some big limbs. Other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Saunders?
Yeah, same theme as the parade. It was nice to be back after 3 years having the normal parade. I threw out well over 5,000 dum-dum suckers. There were a lot of kids. It was amazing. You throw them 3 or 4 of them and they want more. So, but it was good to see the kids out there. It was a nice activity for them and the parents. A lot of the senior citizens wanted suckers too, so. But it was great to see everybody out there. And for those that are new to the parade, we're one of the first ones to get finished. So if you turn around and get right back at the fire station over there, you can watch the entire parade. So anyway, that's for next year. But because I always get to watch the whole parade because of that. You miss about 2 or 3 floats and that's about it. So, but you can watch the entire parade because we get done quick enough. Next thing would be is Mike. The telephone pole on Northfield Road across the street from the church. just north of Sea Ray. That pole is coming down. The top was braced, it has moved, the wires are touching each other, and the one wire is up this far from the transformer. If it hits that transformer, it's gonna blow the whole system out. I don't know what First Energy's plans are with that pole, but, it is one of those poles that, I would tend to think should be on their critical list, because it's gonna cause massive headaches, because it's got a lot of wires on top. And it used to be like this, it's now like this. So it is critical. So if you look into that, it would be appreciative. I know the neighbors over in that area are really worried about it. What was the other? I had one other thing, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, that should do it for now. Thank you. When I remember, I'll bring it up to Mike.
Mrs. Spinks.
The parade was so much fun. It's so exciting to see the kids and the parents. I usually throw out school supplies, pencils, and of course it always starts a conversation, you don't sharpen them, do you? And I'm like, no, I don't sharpen the pencils before I throw them out. That would be dangerous. I got a laugh out there. So yeah, I threw out pencils and glue sticks and things that just you don't realize when parents have 2 or 3 kids, or in ink pens for the older kids and stuff. The kids got so excited when they threw pencils out and glue sticks, and friends of mine were going, kids aren't gonna get excited about that, but yes they were. The parents were like so thankful, so that was fun. I also threw out a couple little balls and stuff, and almost hit the mayor with a couple of them because I was behind him. His wife said she saw a couple come bouncing by the car, but it's just so much fun. It gives you that small town feeling again of the people coming out. So it's so good. It's safe to do that outside again. Talking about the Elmer Flick Day, also don't forget the museum. Right in the middle of all of this is a very exciting museum. We have wonderful display. All of our volunteers have worked very hard to get this display put up in the front lobby. If you haven't been by the museum lately, the gift shop Lori Schroeder has just done a phenomenal job on this gift shop. It's really just so many goodies in there. And Rick Beko has done drawing. There'll be little play cards, little baseball cards that he did himself, that he drew. He has a great big picture. He's just so talented. He's one of our very own. So make sure when you're down there for the Elmer Flick Day, make sure that you stop by the museum. Those volunteers will be out there. I think we're going to be selling popcorn. I talked to Jim today. I think Betsy was going to finalize it, so I'm hoping we're going to be doing that as well. Because you can't have baseball stuff without popcorn, because it goes hand in hand. Mike, any update on the dead trees that I turned in?
Yeah, they do have them on their list, but they're going through. Our arborist was off. We only have one arborist, so he is making his way through. But we did submit those, and they're on their list.
Okay, we did have one alternative to you too, that's right across on the corner of Kenyon and Graham's Boat's house. I guess with the winds and stuff, the lightning took off a significant on her tree line tree. Trees, it's about half missing limbs and stuff. Also, there's another big one alternative that's on the beginning, right when you turn on to Tudor off of Greencroft. The lady's been complaining about it. There's tons of leaves. I know a lot of times people don't understand the tree looks dead, but there's green leaves. When there's green leaves on it, it can look horrible. The trunk could be falling off, and he won't consider it dead because there's still greenage on it. Well, this tree still has some greenage on it, but big chunks of the bark are just falling off. The branches are falling off, the tops are all green. I'll give you that address tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, I can't believe that I'm the only one that's going to touch on the subject. Fireworks. Out of control this year. Crazy. It's just the amount of disrespect for the neighbors, for people with dogs and cats, are seniors, I know it even made me nervous after a while. It literally was so loud, I called the mayor last night, you could hear it, and it just was crazy. It literally knocked a picture off my wall. It was that loud. These things are just, you know, kids running around with the little sparklers and stuff, that's fun, that's part of 4th of July, a few poppets and stuff like that. But when it's so loud that it breaks your china in your china cabinet, that's wrong. And one lady called me, she's, won't mention her name, she really doesn't live in my room. She's a real good friend of mine. 6 times. She called 6 times because it was making her nervous, and she told them it was the house right across from her. Her dog was freaking out. Her dog is an older dog. Her dog went into a panic attack, was very sick and stuff, so it was very aggravating. I know our guys were, you know, trying to do their best, but I mean, you know, at this day and time, you're scared to go over, especially as a city official, go over your neighbor and, you know, say, hey, this is not cool. Or, you know, be a reasonable time, do it for a couple, and don't do it. I mean, they were doing it up, I know, Friday night to 2 o'clock in the morning, Saturday night up to 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday, 2 o'clock in the morning. Last night, it was 12 o'clock. It was just, it got ridiculous. It's just like, send out notices, Mike, we did send out notices, right? Yeah, so I don't know what we get through this.
I think the one thing is, as I mentioned, I know we passed the legislation, but it's gonna take some time for, I mean, not all communities opted out. So, you know, when there's, you know, even neighboring communities, when it's legal, and it's gonna take us some time to really drive that home that that's not permitted. I mean, I think we had 14 or 16 calls, and we were chasing. I mean, we can't cite unless we're physically right there and witness it. Not to say that we didn't cite. I mean, we were running, and we addressed some of them, but it's gonna take a while to drive home that that is not permitted in Bedford, when a lot of communities allow it. So it's you know, it's one of those things that, like, when we passed it, I really tried to, some of the residents I talked to, I said, please I don't want to give a false sense of, you're not going to hear fireworks.
Yeah.
But, you know, as I said, we put stuff out, it was in water bill, we did social media posts. We're going to continue to do that, even though it's after the 4th of July. We're going to continue to put that information out there to try to drive home that it's not permitted.
Yeah. Just sending that message that it's not, you know, it's kind of like the speeding. I don't know what's gonna take for us to send, you know, the message that it's not okay to not stop at stop signs and to speed, and it's just, it's got out of hand. It was very traumatic for a lot of our seniors and residents. I was lucky, I didn't get a whole bunch of phone calls. I actually had a couple of residents walk over and talk about it and stuff, because it was one neighbor right across from me. And like I said, it's hard when you're a city official, you don't want to, you know, make waves and stuff, but it was out of hand. But in a report.
Thank you. Mr. Janutus.
Thank you. Well, I think Jeff came up with a great idea to really make some money with the fundraiser, depending on getting the right person in that dunk tank. I'm not gonna say, make any suggestions beyond that, but
I know where you live.
anyways, but going back to the parade, it was just so wonderful. I mean, that parade was really, to me, the embodiment of the spirit of Bedford, and it was just great, and I want to express my appreciation for being able to be a part of it. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll just echo all those sentiments. A great day yesterday. And a reminder, our next city council meeting is until August 1st. Unless something pressing should come up that we need to call a special meeting, but our next one is not till August 1st. And I think we can move on to, it's been a while since we had 2 pages here. Ordinance number 9995-22.
Another charter amendment to section, Article 10, Section 2, concerning our Civil Service Commission and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Saunders, second by Asbury. Again, this is a charter amendment that was submitted by our finance director on behalf of city council. And it shall read, shall Article 10, Section 2 of the Charter of the City of Bedford regarding the Civil Service Commission be amended to change the term to 4 years to be consistent with other city board terms and to allow the finance director, who is the secretary of the Civil Service Commission, to vote in the event of a tie, which is a good idea. Yeah, a while back, we changed all our boards to 4-year terms. They were 2 years and 3 years and 4 years. We changed everything to 4 to be more uniform. The Civil Service Commission, for some reason, was in the charter and not just in ordinance form, so we couldn't change that, so we have to do that as part of this changes in the charter. So this is one that was submitted, like you say, by our finance director on behalf of the city council, which is a good idea. And call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9996-22.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 9914-21, making additional appropriations for current expenditures of the city and declaring, during the year 2022, and declaring an emergency.
A motion for suspension by Asbury, second by Smith. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Jen?
Yeah, so from time to time, we amend the appropriations due to monies coming in, et cetera. In the general fund, we're increasing the budget for business grants for Exelia Jobs Credit. Under Fund 201, they're asking, or they approved, the First Leopards Consortium approved a $8,000 expense for their approved home repair program study. The SEAL Fund 205 has a new grant for 2022-2023, so they're making increases of about $13,000 in that one. For grants, we have a few increases. One for the Police Department Radio Acquisition Grant for $6,000, an $8,000 increase for the Police Department Body Armor Grant. And we also have expenditures for the Union Street Road Improvement Project, but this will be reimbursed to the city by the Ohio Public Works Commission, but we need to appropriate the expenditures on that.
Thank you. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9997-22.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Julian and Grube, Inc., certified public accountants to do our audit for the performance audit for 2022 through 2026 of the city, and declaring an emergency.
Have a motion for suspension. Saunders, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Jen? That's yours.
Yes, our current auditors is Julian Grube, Inc., and the Ohio State Auditor is allowing us to extend our contract with them for another 5 years. This will max out our possible extensions at a total of 10 years. After that, we will begin to be audited again by the auditor state directly. There's different amounts for each of the next 5 years, tiering up every year, and it maxes out at $40,000 a year. And this is actually still lower than what the auditor state would normally charge us.
Yeah, we were paying over 40,000 several years ago. That's good. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janudis,
Yes.
Ordinance number 9998-22.
Authorizing the city manager to accept the proposal of Gardner for the 2 rooftop compressors for the municipal complex and declaring an emergency.
And a motion for suspension by Janudis, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janudis,
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Saunders, second by Asbury. Mike?
This is for an emergency repair that we had to make for our rooftop units or the rooftop AC units for the municipal court. Those both failed. We had to replace 2 compressors. We did obtain 2 different quotes, one from Gardner, one from Comfort Systems. Gardner was the lower of the 2. Additionally, though, we were afforded the ability to obtain a warranty through Gardner. That was not made available through the other company. Our recommendation is to pass this with the warranty. By adding the warranty in, it will be slightly above the other quote, but obviously we're being provided the warranty, which is our recommendation to go with Gardner.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janudis,
Yes.
Ordinance number 9999-22.
Authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with United Survey, Inc. for sewer maintenance repairs and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Asbury, second by Smith. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janudis,
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Janudis. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. This is, the city had an easement that ran through a residential property on Archer. That easement included a storm sewer that had failed, which obviously caused damage throughout the yard. United Survey was able to come in and actually, instead of replacing the entire line, we were able to sleeve this line and make that necessary emergency repair.
Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janudis,
Yes.
And a drum roll. Ordinance number 10,000. Wow. That's a lot of ordinances. A lot of them have been taken away, so we don't have 10,000 on the books. So ordinance number 10,000-22.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Angelo, Bendetti, Inc. for asphalt surface recycling and declaring it an emergency.
And a motion for suspension by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janudis,
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Saunders, second by Smith. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. As part of our road program, as I kind of mentioned during my reports, we did bid out a couple of streets. We also looked to get the most out of the funds that we had. Angelo Bendetti, Inc. is a sole source provider of a recycling, surface recycling of roadways. Basically what it does is it actually grinds up the existing materials, it adds in, you know, oils and whatnot, and it uses that to lay it back down. We've used and worked with, or contracted with this company, local company, Sole Source. They're the only ones that actually provide this type of work. We've used them in the past on a number of roads, one of them being Harriman, which is held up, as Councilman Saunders mentioned, held up pretty well over the years. It's substantially cheaper than a full regular resurfacing. The downside is you really, you can only use it on certain streets that are really straight. It's huge equipment, not easy to make turns. I actually had inquired about possibly seeing if we can do it on some of our parking lots, because those are in need of repair. That wouldn't work. But looking at some of the streets that we identified that we need to do this year, Button Road was one of them, as well as Tudor was one of them. And both of those, given the amount of traffic, the condition, the length, being straight roadways, it was perfect fit for this company. So we reached out, obtained a quote. Our recommendation is to go with this company for these two streets. And as I mentioned before, we're going to look and kind of revisit the other roads and see what we can do based on the funds that we have.
And the neat thing, this is a Bedford company, and the machine they developed was designed and built right here in Bedford many years ago, which is kind of a cool thing, a homegrown product. I'd like to see. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Number G, we need a motion.
Can we get a motion to authorize myself and the clerk of council to act on behalf of the city of Bedford in regards to public records training and Ohio Sunshine Law requirements that's required by the auditor, that we have to take those classes. So I would be happy to do so for you.
And can I have a motion as such by Spinks, second by Janutus? And this is just a yes, no? Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Thank you for doing it.
Thank you for allowing me.
And the next motion.
Yes, we need a motion to accept the June 7th, 2022 recommendations of the Tax Incentive Review Council as stated in Finance Director Gambozi's June 30th, 2022 letter to follow those recommendations. Simply yes or no as well.
And motion for the, motion. Smith, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Asbury?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Now it comes to that portion of the meeting, the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment.
Barbara McDaniel, 186 Center Road. It's been previously mentioned, I was going to mention the utility pole when I went down Northfield the other day. I was appalled to see how the top was bent and I couldn't figure out how it got that way. But my issue is Ennis Avenue, the enormous amount of traffic, the scofflaws that park from the top of the hill down. I don't want to get killed. I almost got hit one day because they were parked within 20 feet of the stop sign at the bottom. I called the police. I said, well, there's something going on here. Oh, do you know where it is? I said, no. I don't hear any noise, but I said there is solid traffic down the whole of Ennis. And it's ridiculous, and it's been going on. I've lived there 50 years. It's never been the issue that it is now, and the road's in bad shape to begin with. And I'm really upset about that because it's dangerous. We have a lot of walkers, we have a lot of dogs sometimes that get loose. We have deer. And I sat on my porch a lot this summer, and every other car going down Center Road, either south or north, went up in us, and they went up fast. Because if you aren't at the stop sign, or if you're approaching it, they cut across and almost hit you then too. And I try to be careful, but I'm a senior citizen, and I don't want to get killed this way. Not by somebody else's stupidity. If I do something stupid, so be it. But I'm tired of this. And I think you need to put a traffic counter at the bottom. Nobody stops hardly. And I think you have to check the speed, just like Walton Hills over by the golf course. You need to know what's going on, and the police did not come. As far as I know, they never ticketed, they never did anything. End of gripe.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I do want to add in regards to mention in regards to the condition of Ennis, that
It's
is,
terrible.
yeah, we're aware of it, it's on our list. What I will tell you though is, both Ennis and Harriman, were on our list to look at resurfacing, but both of those have a 1930 water line. It doesn't make sense for us to resurface those this year unless we're planning to do the water line. We are working to establish documents to go out to bid for both of those streets to replace those water lines this year, with the idea that we would come back, once that's finished, then we could come back in the next year or two and resurface the entire roadway. This way we know the water's done, we know sewer's okay, and then the road's done as far as, proper planning. One of our challenges is supply of materials. What we're hearing is the contractors won't be able to have those materials and have that project on until into next year. So we're still looking at that. Odds of us bidding that are probably still pretty high. We just want to make sure that we'll receive bids for those. But we are looking at the condition, but before we can really address that, we have to address the water line first, and that's on our list.
Well, we need to monitor the amount of traffic. They got, I'm willing to bet, as much traffic as Center Road because it's a shortcut. And it's really bad. And I know all these people don't live up there.
Jeff Duber, 134 Harriman. First of all, what Sandy said about the fireworks, I think that's something that you really need to be looking into. 2 o'clock in the morning is absolutely crazy to be listening to people shooting off fireworks. It's idiocy, absolute. And I have a dog, it's terrible. Mike, you had mentioned that there was information in the water bill. I have not seen one thing that's come up that indicated that the city banned fireworks.
I will double check that, but I believe it was. I'll double check that though. I know we had it online, we had it on social media, but I'll double check that.
I was kind of surprised that it wasn't in the July, whatever you call it, thing that does come out. I did not see it. I have a question on your ordinance number 9986 about changing the wards to go with population. Are you looking at the entire population or adult population?
I believe they looked at adult population. But what they didn't, it used to be voter strength.
Right.
But that was changed. I think the state goes by population too.
But it's adult population.
Isn't it? Yeah, 18 and up, yeah. Yeah, because if it counted kids, that would really throw everything off.
Okay. One more thing, on the rubbish ordinance, and I see you're raising the rates to $18. When the city first established the rates, or when they established the $14 rate, one of the things that came up had to do with the people who overused the services. And I know that there was talk about, also there was talk about senior people who don't use the full barrel and they could get a smaller barrel. But as far as people that overuse the services, there's a lot of people who continually put out more than the single rubbish barrel. And there's also people that put out rubbish beyond the rubbish barrel. Is there any checking on that to see who's overusing the services?
Well, it's hard to, when you refer to overuse, like Kimball, we don't, so one of the reasons why we recommended going with Kimball is there's no limit. A lot of the other services, you get one can. That's it. Anything outside of that, anything that's not in that can, they won't collect. That's asking for a nightmare, right? Because they're gonna come by, they're gonna pick up the can, that trash is gonna sit on the tree lawn, then we're gonna be chasing people to bring that trash in. Kimball did not establish a limit. Now, if we know a home is being renovated and there's construction debris and all of that, we tag it, and that property owner, Kimball, will not collect it. They have to remove those items, and they have to either get a dumpster or some of those things from Home Depot, the bags where they fill that up. So we do not collect, and they don't collect, like, large construction renovation, like if someone's coming in remodeling a home, as far as that. But if someone has, and we do provide, like if seniors ask for a request, a smaller can, we do that. But as far as like overuse, it's hard to, I mean, if there's a family of 4 and they have, a couple cans, that's really not overuse. We're not like, does it go towards the tonnage? Yes, you could argue that, but there's no way for us to go house by house and determine who's using too much trash and who's not. Then that leads to how many people are living in that home. If it's a family of 6, well, they're for sure gonna use more trash than maybe 2 newlyweds. I mean, it's just, that's a difficult thing. So, do some people use more? Yeah, some people do use more.
But I know there was discussion on that back when the rate was first established.
I don't think there's,
And it had to do with tonnage.
yeah, I don't know if there's any way to honestly track that other than going house by house.
Thank you.
You kind of keep it abridged.
I waited at the end there for your good.
Pardon?
That's why I waited at the end.
Yeah, we want to keep it short.
Okay, I'll make it go ahead. It's Bob Dietrich at 137 Sand Circle. I noticed just recently our precinct zoning on that, and I wasn't sure how close it is to our council zoning, because I noticed when I spoke with some people on Shawnee, they told me that they were part of, I think, Ward 1, which is odd to me that it's just on there.
All that word stuff, now that we passed it, it's gonna go to the county. They will get it in and they will put it out to the voters on regular.
Have you already basically broken up where the houses are?
Yeah, there's not really huge changes.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because I see there's kind of a sliver between like along Button Road and on Shawnee, and the way I look at it is that these are people, like, the people I talk to, half of them are in a whole different district, and I wondered if they were looking at changing the wards.
That was been changed. That little sliver that used to come down, that's now part of Ward 4, not 5.
Okay, that's what I was wondering then. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none? Good night. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta have an adjournment. Yeah, I'm just.
You got so excited.
Don't scare us.